Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. We are on week 6 of Around We Go. It is the mystery quilt. And of course, we have no idea what the mystery looks like because you won't get to see that till closer to the end. But we are more than halfway there. So, with what we're going to do today, this will be the actual last bit of cutting. So, there will be no more cutting instructions after today. After today, it's just going to be assembly or construction, as I have been calling it lately. So, we will be constructing it. Hey, Miss Sheila. All right, we shouldn't miss you, Miss Sheila. You're going to be gone to the end of the month. We're so sorry. Okay. Okay, Miss Claudine. She said thanks for looking, and I was hoping I would have better news for you, but unfortunately I don't. It makes me feel bad, but that's okay. At least we all checked our stuff and crossed our T's and dotted our I's, or dotted our I's and crossed our T's, or however that goes. Anyways, okay. So today we are going to be working on the very last part that requires cutting. Let's see, last week, I did have a couple people um, who did the half square rectangles using the bear paws, the triangulations papers, and they really liked the triangulation papers. The problem was is that which I try to remember to warn you that when I send you something, excuse me, because you've gotten it before, it will probably always go into your regular folder because you've gotten it from me. But this is something you've probably never purchased from before, and instead it will probably go to your spam or your trash folder. So make sure if you buy a program like that from the internet, check your spam folder or your trash folder, because that's usually where it winds up, especially if you've never purchased from that particular website before, because your computer doesn't know if it's good and it doesn't want to send it in case it's garbage or somebody just trying to cheat you. And we don't want that to happen because Lord knows we got enough scammers out there. And just remember, if it looks really suspicious or they're trying to scare you into doing something, it's probably a scam. Please don't do it. Check with somebody, call somebody, and don't call the number they give you. If they say it's the IRS, then go to the IRS and talk to the IRS, somebody at the IRS. Don't call the phone number that the people on the phone or the text message tell you to call, because it's the scammers. Just saying. Just kind of remember that. Okay. So here is the email I sent you. We're going to be working with this today. We're going to be working with this as well. It is triangle and a square. I have about 2 or 3 of them still on my site. You can buy it through Etsy, and where else did I put it? Seemed like I loaded it somewhere else, but I can't for the life of me think of where I put it. Anyways, you should be able to find that also through my my website. So if you get into my website, www.srqquilts.com, you'll be able to find the triangle and a square ruler. I only have like 2 or 3 left. There's not many left. I do still have a couple of the tailor clappers done, and God bless her, my lady came through and gave me 3. She had 3 waiting on me, and so she got them to me. I have one short one and 2 long ones. So we have a 10 and a 15 and 15. So these are 15 inches, I think. Yeah, 15 inches, and they're $15. And these are $10, and they are 12 inches. I like the 15 because most of my squares are at least 12 and a half, or most of my blocks are 12 and a half. So I like the 15s. But I'll be honest, the 12s are usually the most popular. The 12-inch ones are usually most popular. And they're so cute. Look at that. Aren't they darling? Okay. If you're interested in these, just shoot me a text because I don't have them on my eBay site yet. I had to take mine down because I ran out. So I got 3 more. So anybody that's interested. And that is for anybody who is in my regular Facebook, or if you're on YouTube watching this. Okay, so this is part of the pattern. So you can either use this template right here for this next step, or you can use the square and a square ruler, or you can just use the second method that we're going to be learning. So let's do the easy one first. Let's go to the tabletop. Let me see, where did I put the tabletop? There we go. Y'all, that's my son's ring that he got from when he finished boot camp. And so he gave it to me. I told him I really wanted it. See, I never got a class ring when I finished high school. I'm the only female that finished the high school, actual high school. My sister got her GED later. But I never got a ring, and I think I was always sad about that. I think my mom was sad too, but anyways, that's regardless. That's neither here nor there. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the fabric A. This is the background fabric, okay? We are going to need to cut, and if you have your papers in front of you, you know exactly how big this is supposed to be. And we're going to need to cut the fabric for this one for method A, or for method 1 and method 2 are both the same size. So we're just going to go right in here and we're going to trim off one piece. You're going to need to have you need to have 40 of these. Let me see. Pretty sure 15 per strip. Yes. You need 40. Okay, so when you're done, cut all 40 of your squares for fabric A, okay? So for this first one, we're going to set this one aside. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know where my thought was at. Okay, fabric A, method 1. You're going to need strips 4.5 inches, and you're going to need, if I remember correctly, 3 strips. Yeah, 3 strips. Actually, it says 4 3/4. They don't really need to be 4 3/4. They can be 4.5. I just gave you a little bit extra to help with any overcuts that you might need to do. Okay, so for the first one, we're going to take that ruler, and we're going to cut this side and this side. Oop, sorry, I bumped into my knuckles. Okay. And there's 2 of them. Okay. And then you're going to flip it. I'm going to turn this a little bit just because it's a little bit harder to do it that way. And you're going to flip it, and you're going to do it this way. And this is what's going to use the least amount of fabric, by flipping back and forth like this, okay? Because when you do the other one, where you're supposed to be doing the squares, if you had a chance to read it, you're going to be doing squares. And you're just going to be cutting out, and you're going to need to do 5 strips. Which rulers are you using? Miss Margaret, these are the ruler and a square. You can get these on my Etsy site. Or I can bring them to the meeting on Monday if you're going to be there. And that's if you want to use these. I did send a template. And in fact, let me cut this out real quick. I did send a template, and this template is exactly the same size. The reason I prefer a ruler over a template is because after a while, I keep trimming down the edge of the paper template, even though I'm using a ruler. It's just one of those things where you just can't help it. Okay, and just remember, when you're printing it off, this inner square is 2 inches and the outer square is 2.5. So you need to make sure it matches that size. Make any kind of, custom direct, changes to your printer if you have to get it to come out that size. And if you can see, the template has where the little corners come off, and you can, of course, at that juncture, cut those off as well. So you just place it down like that. Trim it off. Oh. And then you can do your little dog ears. And the little, if you do the dog ears off of it like this, it does help you with placement too. And the, let's see. Okay. All right. And so that's what the template will get you. Okay. So once you turn and flip and get all those cut out, you're ready to go to the next step. And again, you should have 40 of these, okay? Now, if you don't want to do the you don't want to do the acrylic ruler, the acrylic template, you can use this one, and you can also use your tabletop. The only thing is most of your mats. This is actually a 63-degree triangle, so you're not going to be able to get a really good measure off of that. So either use the template or use the acrylic template ruler. Okay. So remember, 40 of these. Now this, again, we're just doing the first method right now, method number 1. Now the next one we want to do is, this is 4.5. Okay. I was working on a craft earlier today and it got stuck to my fabric. Not good, not good. Okay. We're going to take off those selvages because we definitely don't need those. She did this as YouTube Live. It works so much better for me. You know, I have actually been giving a thought. Hey, Miss Christina, good to see you on. Sorry it took me so long to answer. I have actually considered going to YouTube Live and skipping over Facebook. But I'm not sure. Listen, if you guys feel like you could manage YouTube Live, let me know. Because, again, I've actually been considering moving to that forum versus Facebook. Because there are so many people that don't do Facebook. And I know a lot of people do YouTube. Okay, so with this one, you want to have it, you know, with the fabric. So you need 4 of these. A fabric E, 4 of these, 4 strips, and it tells you in the instructions how wide they're supposed to be with the fabric, and you're going to have them folded over. So either right sides up or wrong sides up. It doesn't matter which side is up, just make sure that they are folded together because you need one for each side. And if you cut them all in the same direction, they're all going to be on one side. So remember, either have your wrong sides together when you're cutting or have right sides together. That is important, okay? This has 1/4 inch seam on. Yes, yes. Both of them, both the template and the paper template each have the 1/4 inch seam on it. So this is ready for you to cut it just as it is. Just make sure you don't cut off that 1/4 inch seam, because you don't want to cut that off either. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start trimming. I'm going to cut that little dog ear off right there. And then I'm going to trim right here. Oh, I felt it go right over that. Okay. And there, yep, I knew it. I could feel it. Okay, so there's one piece. And if you were to pull them apart, you would see how you now have 2 that will work with one of your triangles. Okay? All right, so let's put that aside. You're going to flip it upside down. And you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to trim it off. Just line it up and trim it off. And you see where it lines right up down here? I don't know if it's my blade that's dull or if it's the mat has a couple of nicks in it. Okay. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to just trim off that little piece on the top. Now you don't have to, you can leave it as it is, but I like it because it helps to give me a little bit of guidance. Okay? All right, so we're going to imagine that we went ahead and we cut all that. Okay? And again, you're going to need about 80 of these, and they're going to be 40 going in one direction and 40 going the other direction. 40 going this way, 40 going this way. And if you keep them right sides together or wrong sides together, it will do that. Reminds me of the hexie rulers. 60-degree, no. This one, no, I don't believe it is 60 degrees. It doesn't actually say what the degrees on this is, but I'm pretty sure it's definitely not a 60. I say that. Hang on. Where's my other one? More like, if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's about half a 63. It's a scalene triangle. Does that help? Scalene, because all three sides are different measurements. They're not all the same. All three are different. Whereas this has two sides that are the same and one side that's not. In measure, that is. Okay. Now let's grab we need one white piece. Okay. And we have two yellow pieces. We're going to start with this one first, and we're going to line it up down here and all the way up to there. Okay, and remember doing 1/4 inch, which should start right about here and end right about there. So let me grab a pin, a couple pins, and we're going to pin that together. I think I like my thinner pins better. All right, let's come on over here and we're going to sew this together. Yeah, I got that wrong. Hang on. I did this once before and I had to take it apart. Hang on, let me come back. This is what you need to watch out for. Oh, no, that was right. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at it upside down. I swear these triangles mess me up. No, it was right. I was looking at it upside down. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've got the wrong end. Let's try that one more time, see if I can keep my brain about myself. Okay. Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed, that it was definitely not a 60-degree triangle. Okay. So let's bring that over here. We're going to start at the end. Okay, guess what? It unthreaded on me. Let's thread that back. Okay. Thumping pretty hard. I bet I've ruined that needle. Okay. You hear that? Okay, so when you open it up, your first triangle side is on. Where's my... All right, now let's go get that second side on. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and iron this down. Let's remember that we have to, y'all stay on me. Keep me on my tabletop. There we go. And there's one side, and then we're going to take the other one and we're going to put it right here. And remember, the two sides that are the same length are the sides that we're going on. There's a shorter side, you don't want to put anything on that one. So the two sides are the same length, that's the side we're sewing on. And you're matching it up to make it look like a square. So flip that on over. And we're going to match up these 2 points right here. I would practice with 1 or 2 first, just to kind of get the feel for it and make sure that you're getting the amount that you're looking for. And if you look, this piece kind of just fits right into that bottom piece. Okay, let's come on over here. We're going to stitch this one together. Doesn't matter which side you do first. No, whatever side, just remember, don't do the shorter side of the 3. You do the 2 longer sides. That's all that matters. And you just need to make sure that when you're lining it up, you know, you're lining it up to make sure you flip it this way. That's the big thing, okay? So no, it doesn't matter whether you do the left side or the right side first, just pick one. Me, I am right-handed, so it just worked out that way. All right. Okay, back over here. And then when you start, you should be starting in that V right there. Let me show you that V. So see that V right there? You should be starting in this V right here. I'm going to move that, make sure that fabric gets moved over. And that should be 1/4 inch. And I lost my thread again. I seem to be doing that a lot more today than any other day. You know, it's funny, after we had the last one, and I finished up the last stitch, that was it for my, my bobbin. My bobbin had to completely run out on that very last stitch. Okay. And then we're going to flip this over. Okay. And then we're going to iron it. I'm going to grab a little bit bigger iron pad on that one. Okay. Okay, looks good. We're going to put that there. And then I have a ruler that is exactly the size we need, and I just need to check and make sure that it's the right size. It looks beautiful. Ta-da! And it's perfect. And you can just go back and trim off these little dog ears right here. You don't need them there, and or you can just leave them and not even worry about it. It doesn't matter. Okay, so first method is down. That one is using the rulers or the template, the paper template or the rulers. I kind of like that one, and if you kind of get a pattern rolling with that, you could really get that done quickly. You just, you know, get them all pinned on one side, sew right through, get them all done, snip them apart, you know, using one of your nice little thread snippy things, and just whack right through it, and just clip them all apart. All 40 of them, because you need 40 of these. Okay, so Let's go ahead and set that off to the side. That one is done. And then we need our next one, our next method, method number 2. And believe it or not, method number 2 is really kind of cool. Sheila turned me on to this, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Okay, so this is where we use the square. So you're going to take that square, and the measurements are in your paper, and this is fabric E. I'm sorry. This is fabric A, and this is fabric E. Okay, so we need one square, and this is the other fabric, and again, your measurements are in there, and you're going to need, same thing, you're going to put wrong sides together or right sides together. It doesn't matter which one, you just need one of them. Okay, and then we're going to, where's my ruler? There it is. Trim it up a little bit. Okay, and then if I remember correctly, let me just take a quick peek here. I want to make sure I've got this right. No sense doing it and then getting it wrong. Method 2. Got that part done. Okay, nope, I think that's what I need. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. All right. Then you're going to cut as many as you can get out of here. Ooh, just like this. I had that thing laying straight up and it was not closed. Not good. Okay, you're going to cut one of these, and you're going to cut, let's see, I think it says, I want to say there's 5 of them, 5 strips. Well, it says 6. Okay, so you're going to cut 4 strips, so many inches wide by width of fabric. Lay your fabric right sides together or wrong sides together, just be consistent. And then you're going to subcut those into the size that's on your paper that came in your instructions, and you're going to subcut, and you should be able to get 10 subcuts out of each strip. And you're going to need 4 strips according to what I have written down from my instructions. And that should give you the 40 rectangles. Okay, the next thing you're going to do, once you have all 40 of them cut, you're going to turn around and subcut one more time. You're going to subcut from corner to corner, and I'll be honest, it doesn't really matter because, again, these are going to be on the outside and you're going to be flipping these. So you're going to need one direction and one another direction. Okay, so now you have 2 that way and 2 that way, and then you have a square. Okay, we're going to take our square and we're going to find the center, and I want you to mark the center at the top and at the bottom. Can everybody see the bottom? Let me pull that up a little bit because I don't know how much my OBS doesn't show me everything. At the top and the bottom. Okay. And once you have that one done, then you're going to come back here and you're going to measure down 1/4 inch. Make sure that's long enough so it'll match up. And you're going to mark another one. Now this is a friction pen, so this will come off with the when you iron. Okay. All right. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your 1/4 inch right here and right here. Okay, so if you can see, your 1/4 inch is going to go right here and right here, and just slightly over, just a little bit, just slightly, so that you can give enough room for the fatness of the pen. And then you're going to make a mark down this way. Okay, and then we're going to turn it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're going to put that 1/4 inch right there, because this is where it's going to eventually cross over. And then you're going to put that 1/4 inch down here. And I really got that thing off, didn't I? Okay, here and here. Okay, that looks pretty good. You're going to mark it here. And if you notice, it comes off the edge of your square, and that's okay. That's okay, because your 1/4 inch, your actual seam is going to go all the way this way. Of course, this is, you know, just a line drawing, so it's not perfect. Your seam is going to go from here. I'm going to go ahead and draw it on there just so you can see it. A light drawing. So that's going to be your seam, if you can see that. That's where you're going to stitch, but you're not going to be able to see that. All right, so what we're going to do next, let's see if there's any question. No questions yet? Okay. Again, we're going to put this right here, and this is why it's so long, because it's going to give you a little cushion. Okay? We're going to put this right up to the edge, and I kind of like to pull it down a little bit and make sure I can see that line that I drew, because if I can see that line, then I know I'm a lot closer to my 1/4 inch. Okay? And we're not trimming anything off just yet. Okay. And then we're going to take this over and we're going to stitch it. Now, you may need to watch this video over and over again to understand the instructions fully, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me get this paper off of here and that one off of there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this yellow piece of fabric all the way down, making sure I catch it at the top and go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to look at the bottom real quick. Yeah, that'll be fine. Ah, darn it. I think I'm going to pull it up from now on. I think maybe my spool is small enough that it's causing it to curl, which is what's causing it to come unthreaded. Kind of wish I went with a spool of thread instead of using the small ones. Okay, let's try that again. So who can tell me how often should we change our domestic needle? How often should we change a needle on our domestic machine? Oh, and I did not do what I said I was going to do. All right, well, let's just go over here and grab it and pull it through. Well, I'm definitely making a mess over here. Hopefully you did not see me bend over. That would not be a pretty sight. Oh. Okay. At least every project. Hey, Miss Ann says every project. Anybody else? I'll be honest, I don't quite remember. Every time you start a new project. All right, Miss Claudine, she said the same thing. I have heard it said, I don't know if everybody's put their 2 cents in on that. I have heard it said that you should change your needle every 8 hours. Now on a long arm, especially when you're quilting for other people, they say every project, every time you change to a new project, that you should put in a new needle. And let me tell you, I have a ton of used up needles out there. But it's not something you want to reuse. You never want to reuse an old needle. Just like the needle on this machine, it is probably well past time to replace it. All right, so there we have the first one, and we are going to give it just a quick little iron. Now, we're going to leave it just as you see it. Oop, see, now that's why I didn't want to iron it. Ugh, I knew better. Okay, let's see if we can get this on before we lose it. Don't iron it. Okay. So same thing, we're going to line this up against that line, and hopefully I didn't lose it too much. I knew there was a reason why I wasn't ironing it. And we're going to pin it, and we're going to pin. If this thing is wrong, it's because I erased my line, but I'm pretty sure it's right. Okay, let's go ahead and take this little bad boy right on over here. And you guys, we are almost done. Let me take a quick look at that on the back side. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. All right, and I've got my thread pulled out, so I don't have to worry about it unthreading again. Can anybody tell me, is there such a thing as too much fabric? And you are not allowed to ask husbands that question. All right, so let's get back over here. And we're going to bring our tabletop back up again and flip that over. Now if you use your iron, you're okay. It's all right to use your iron now because we don't need the lines anymore. Okay, now here's why we did not cut off anything yet, because we're going to use that white square to tell us where to trim our triangle in a square. So if you flip it over and you look, there is our mark. And this is what we are going to use to trim it up. Now I don't want you to leave it like this because you really don't want that extra layer of white underneath there, because we know any extra, and it's just not necessary. It just makes more that our needle has to go through. Now if you look, this right here should be 1/4 inch from the top. Now look at that. That's going to be a perfect point. Isn't that going to be beautiful? Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. Next you're going to take your ruler, and I actually have an add 1/4 ruler, and you can use that one, or you can just use the edge of your ruler. Either way will work just fine. And if you remember, this right here is already at 1/4, so 1/4 inch, so you can use that as well as a guide. Go ahead and trim that one off there. This one will be a little bit harder. Well, no, not really. Just got to push it open. And it will catch right there on that seam if the seam has been nice and crisp by your iron. All right, and there you go. And that is method number 2. So we have method number 2 and method number 1. They look pretty much exactly the same. You've got your 1/4 inch seam all the way around, your beautiful point. You're gonna have a beautiful point right there, a beautiful point right there. So either method will give you a beautiful triangle in a square. So like I said, if you want to purchase the rulers from me, they're one set was like $17.99, one set was $18.99, I think. but you should be able to find them in my Etsy store. They may only have 2 of the more expensive ones left. When I say more expensive, I think one's $1 more, as I had to pay $1 more for it when I ordered it, because I can only find a couple of each. You need to make 40 of these. And of course, the easiest way to do it is to try one. I would say try one each method, but whichever method I think works for you, because you have to cut the yellow fabrics, the E fabrics, a little bit differently for the 2 different ones. You need to decide which one you're going to go with and just go with it. Both of them were pretty simple. The second method was, I thought I had the link. There is another video that she demonstrates how to do it. She may do it slightly different from the way I did it. I kind of ad-libbed on it, but it may be the same. So as soon as I can find that link, it may give you some more helpful hints on that. Remember, you can watch this as often as you want to. It'll be on Facebook for at least a month, and then it'll be on YouTube basically until they probably pull it down or I pull it down, and that could be years from now. Who knows? I'm sure YouTube will love to hear that. All right, are there any questions about the square and a square? Just remember, we need to do 40 of these, so you need to have 40, and the easiest way to do it is do a couple, kind of get the feel for it, and then just go ahead and do all the rest of them, all one side, and then do all the other side. And I would like to tell you that my favorite method is the first one, because 1, it uses less fabric, and 2, it has all the lines already there, and all you have to do is lay it out. So if I had to say which one I liked best, I like the one with the ruler or the paper template. I just like the rulers because, like I said, I tear up my paper templates because I keep cutting them. No more questions? Okay. Feel free to call me at any time during the week to get more information if you are confused or having problems. Anybody who has had an issue and called me to talk with me, you know I am more than happy to assist and give you any kind of assistance you need trying to figure it out. I will talk to you on the phone, I will text back and forth, I will email, whatever works for you. And I've even had one that has come and sat down with me and we did them together. We had a good day too. We drank some tea, we chit-chatted for a while, and we got that construction section finished so that they were ready to go with the next one. So I am here for you. I will be happy to help. I know we have a guild meeting coming up on Monday, and for any of you who are coming, I will see you there. You know I'm always there, and I'm excited. I get to hang out with my homies. We are at 45 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and cut it off right here. And don't forget, prayer time is next, so if you are ready to jump off, now would be a good time to do it if you don't want to join in prayer with us. And you will not hurt my feelings. I understand completely. Everybody has their own thing going on, but my thing is I like to pray at the end. It gives me a feeling of completion, and that's part of my routine. Father, I just want to thank you for another beautiful day. I know it was rainy. I know there was thunder and lightning, Father, but you have a hand in everything that happens. The rain that comes down, it waters the plants, it waters the flowers, and then they bloom. And there is so much that comes with that. There's so many things that get unpacked with rain, and we don't realize it, and we don't understand it. And much of life is the same way, Father. There's so many things that happen in our life, and there's so much to unpack, but each thing has an impact. And we have to remember to stop and look at all the great things that bloom from the simple things that happen in our lives. And Father, I just thank you for every single raindrop that you've dropped in our lives, Father, and all the blooms that have come from it and the blossoms. And Father, I just look forward to as many more rainy days as you have for us, Father, and as many more sunny days. And I just thank you for that in advance. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, sorry about that. Get my emotions going there. I can't help but to think about how blessed I've been over the years with, grandchildren and children, and how much my children bless me every day by loving me and telling me how much they mean to me and how much I mean to them. And and yes, they can be my little raindrops, and sometimes they're my rays of sunshine. Usually more rains of sunshine, but that's neither here nor there. The rain is good. It's always good. You know, we see it sometimes and we're like, oh, it's so gloomy, but the rain brings such relief and cleansing, and we have to enjoy it. We have to take it in when we can. And I just want to thank you all for hanging with me today and being on with me and encouraging me. I get, thank yous from you guys all the time for, being here. And really for me, I thank you for being here. I thank you for taking the time to sit with me for the 45 minutes or an hour or half an hour, however long these videos go, and sharing this passion with me. And I wish you many blessings this week, and I hope I hear from each and every one of you at some point. Feel free to drop me a line. I am always happy to read and comment as often as I can. If I don't understand what you wrote, I will usually write in there, I don't understand. Please feel free to retype or whatever, autocorrect. You never know what happens. Sometimes there's some pretty crazy stuff that pops up there, and I'm like, I hope that's autocorrect. Anyways, y'all, thank you very much. I hope you have a fantastic week and a fantastic rest of the day. Enjoy your dinner with your family, and I will see you next Sunday for week 7. Mwah.